Hello YouTube, and I am back. So we had a little break there between the news of the new DC slate and everyone giving their opinions on the slate from James Gunn and Peter Safran. And I want to do the same for me. I wanted this to settle. With that first video, I was just listing stuff off, saying that I was excited for it, let it stay there. Then I want to kind of marinate on the news and marinate this whole entire situation as a whole. And I just want to give you my fears and my hopes for this new turn in DC Studios and all these DC properties and all these mediums. I want to give you my hopes first because that's going to be shorter than my fears at this time, just to give you a preface. So, and I'm not sure if I said this in my previous video, but I have full hope in James Gunn and Peter Safran. More so James Gunn because I've known his work longer. I really don't know Peter Safran that well from his work. But I fully believe especially with this announcement, I know to believe that they believe in these characters, that they understand these characters, they know what to draw for them, and that they will choose the best people, the best writers, directors, actors, whomever, to do these movies, shows, and games, and what have you, and hopefully make the best product with the topmost quality. I believe they want that. Everyone wants that, but I believe they really want that. They, especially James Gunn, knows these characters from the comics. He's a comic book fan. We've known this since Marvel. We know this. And so I believe in them in that. And like I said in my previous video with these choices, I kind of had a feeling that they would go outside the box with certain things. Yes, we're still getting Superman. Yes, we're still getting Batman and Supergirl. But also like that we're getting these people who we don't even know, especially like Booster Gold and Swamp Thing. You know, they've been talked about for a long time, and with the Authority and, with Amanda Waller getting her own solo stuff and all the other stuff that was mentioned the other day. I am excited for that and very intrigued to see where this goes. And here's where I get into my fears upon this. My biggest, I won't say negative, but my biggest fear is the studio. Not just WB, but Discovery. See, before this, it was merely WB messing around with stuff and then quick to action when people did not react positively to BVS, and then they re-edited the whole Suicide Squad movie and the mishmash that was the Justice League movie. And now with Discovery coming in, the studio that does not know, WB barely worked before, but now with Discovery coming in is going to create even more complications. And with how David Zaslav and them has been moving throughout the, how they've handled the stuff with HBO Max and all the animated stuff, like I'm nervous. And I think what they need to understand is that it's going to take a while for people to build up their trust with DC Studios. Yes, these projects sound good and everything, but they've done this before, and those projects a good chunk of those projects did not come to fruition. And he should not expect big box office numbers from these movies. I would be surprised if Superman gets $1 billion. I would love that. But I don't think they should expect that from these movies. They need to build up to it. That's the only way you're going to guarantee consistency, because we've been through this with the DC universe before, where a movie was announced, it didn't come out, and this happened, this person leave, and they have to keep the actors consistent and have to keep the writers and directors consistent, because that whole leaving hiring cannot be happening this time. I'm sorry. No, if you are discussing a movie, TV show, or what have you, and y'all agree on certain things, it needs to go through. No changing midway. Of course, I know stuff happens, but it needs to stay at least the same. The main problem that happened before is that, like I said, they would respond to reviews and then quickly change it, and it turned for the worse. And I hope this will not happen with this new DC universe. I know nothing is perfect, but, WB is in a shakier ground than it was before. I know it's hard to believe, but it is. This merger is something serious. and it's going to start happening like during the spring and summer of this year. And who knows what new stuff they want to try out and do with these TV shows and whatnot. But yeah, and when it comes to these properties, these kind of offshoot kind of, characters who we don't even know, yes, it's great to get unknown characters, but it might be harder to sell some new characters. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy worked because I think it worked in the wheelhouse of James Gunn. He did a fantastic job with that, but it might not work with other characters. Who knows? We'll never know. This is just me being hypothetical, to be quite honest. But like I said, and I will keep on saying this, I have my trust majorly in James Gunn. Like I said, I believe that he wants to bring in creative voices, create diverse creatives, and bring in a diverse set of heroes and villains and what have you in this universe, and treat them with respect and make them diamond properties. He said this at the press conference, and I believe him 110%. And he also addressed the messiness of the company before. And so it's basically saying that I will not stand for that, and I 110% stand behind them. I just I don't trust Discovery Plus. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them when it comes to this. They've really made a bad impression in canceling Batgirl, and all the reasoning, oh, it was a bad movie, I don't care. That thing was not handled right. There's so many other ways they could have handled that. It wasn't handled right. And just by it not being handled right, I just know it was a bad decision. So, that kind of decision is kind of what old Warner Brothers would make pre-Discovery, and with Walter Hamada is given that kind of, that kind of ilk to it. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you believe in Peter Safran and James Gunn, and are you apprehensive about the studio and this merger coming through? What are your thoughts? Leave your comments down below, and bye, YouTube.